March 21st, Saint Benedict. Saint Benedict is the father of Western Monasticism. He was born into a wealthy family in Nursia in central Italy in the year 480. At the age of 20, he was sent to Rome to study, but he was very disappointed by the life he found there. The extreme worldliness of his fellow students was so bad that he left and went to live as a hermit in a cave in the mountains of Subiaco near Rome. He was instructed by Saint Romanus, an old hermit who lived nearby. As more young men began to follow him, over the course of several years he founded 12 monasteries. In the year 530, he left Subiaco and founded the famous abbey of Monte Cassino, which became the center of religious life in Europe. Saint Benedict was famous for working miracles. Once, some of his monks thought his rule was too harsh, so they decided to poison him. They gave him a cup of wine, which broke when Saint Benedict blessed it. There was also a priest who sent Saint Benedict a loaf of poisoned bread. When he prayed a blessing over the bread, a raven swept in and took the loaf away. Saint Benedict wrote only one book, the Rule of Saint Benedict, but it became and remains the single most influential book in the history of Western monasticism. It has been used in the founding of countless orders of monks and nuns. As the Western Empire declined into the Dark Ages, the political and civil powers were extremely weakened, and it was only in the monasteries that the great classical literary works of antiquity were preserved. The sister of Saint Benedict, Saint Scholastica, was the first Benedictine nun, presiding over a convent near Monte Cassino. She visited her brother only once a year, but because women were not allowed to visit the monastery, she met him at a house about halfway. On one occasion, Saint Scholastica asked Saint Benedict to spend the night. Not wishing to break his own monastic rule of always staying in his cell, he said no. But then Saint Scholastica prayed that he might stay, and suddenly a great thunderstorm arose, and Saint Benedict was compelled to remain. He left the next morning, and 3 days later she died. Saint Benedict was granted a miraculous vision where he saw the soul of his sister ascending into heaven in the form of a white dove. Saint Benedict died on March 21st in the year 543, at the altar immediately after receiving Holy Communion. Saint Benedict, pray for us.